All right, guys, so we're getting close to heat treating time, and we got the handle slot cut out. We'll see how that goes tomorrow with the paracord wrap. I think it's going to be good. Anyway, heat treating is really one of the most important things. I would call beveling and heat treating the two most important things. Everything else is really just aesthetic. But if you have a good bevel on here and you get it heat treated right, then you're going to have a good knife. Right? It might not be the prettiest thing, but it's going to be a good knife. Now, the reason heat treating is so important is because right now the steel is soft and we want it to get hard, but we don't want it to get too hard. Okay, so soft steel is really flexible, right? So this steel wouldn't break very easy. If I bent it, I could probably bend it. If I put it in a vise and bent it, it would probably just bend. But when the steel is soft, it also won't hold a really sharp edge for a long time. It will, get dull really quickly because it's too soft and it wears down too fast. Now, really hard steel will actually hold an edge extremely well because it's really hard, right? But it's also very brittle, right? So when steel is really brittle, then any little bit of torquing movement or anything like that, and it's going to actually break the sharp edge of the blade. So we want to really find the happy medium between brittle and flexible, and that's really what heat treating is. It's heating it up just the right temperature to where we get that the hardness that we want, right? So obviously when you're doing this in a campfire, it's not an exact science, and you're not going to be able to get your knife heat treated as well as if you put it in like a digital forge, and you could say, I want it to be 470 degrees, or 1470 degrees, or 1500 degrees exactly. Okay, so what we're going to be looking for though is the color of the blade, and we're going to have to actually shoot that portion when it's dark. So we're going to do the whole setup right now so you can see everything, and I'm going to walk through everything because when it's dark the cameras aren't going to really be able to pick me up very well. They're just going to see the knife and the colors. But what we're really looking for is the color change in the knife is going to tell us about what temperature it is. And we're going to include this. This will be included with the course, but you can get these little color charts online, and they basically show the different colors and the different temperatures. So down here at 930 degrees we have faint red, and then moving up to 1275 we have kind of medium cherry, 1375 cherry, 1450 is bright cherry, and then we have 1550 is salmon, and then we starting to get into oranges. So we have dark orange is 1680, and up into yellows, 1830 degrees is lemon, and 1975 is light yellow, and then it kind of turns white. So the steel we're using is O1 tool steel, and it's really important that you know what type of steel you're using because every different type of steel has a different temperature that it needs to be heated up to. So O1 tool steel needs to be heated kind of around 1500 degrees. So we're talking somewhere between salmon and bright cherry, okay? But basically red, but not orange yet. And if it gets up to 1680, then that's not going to be as good, right? So we want to keep it, and 1680 is the orange, the dark orange. So we want to keep it in this red color. And then when we get it up to temperature, we need to keep it up at temperature for a couple of minutes. So it's important that we are really paying attention in this process, and that's why we're doing it during the dark, so that we can see the colors really well. If you try this during the day, it's not going to look right. And I didn't talk about this in the tools section, but in order to do this, I'm going to use a couple of tools that I didn't talk about, a couple of little clamps to clamp this knife down while I drill it, and also a drill. So if you want to drill holes, you need a drill. It's not 100% required for this knife, but you might need that tool if you don't have one already. But most people who are handy have a drill lying around.